Omni-Man has just released in Mortal Kombat 1, and it's totally fine to maybe be intimidated by a new character. There's a lot of new combos, some new features, and more importantly, with all these different cameos, who do I even pick to give me the best chance starting off? This video is supposed to give you a little bit of guidance for understanding the character, and more so, figuring out what cameos you like the most as you play Omni-Man for the first time. So, without further ado, let's get stuck in to the basics. Starting off, let's look at the special moves. The clap is the first one to look at. This on hit will send the opponent full screen. It does decent damage by itself, and it's not too bad when it comes to range. The enhanced version of this goes much further and importantly destroys enemy projectiles. The air version pretty much does the same thing, it's just you're airborne so the move can be used as fitting with Omni-Man's design. Back Forward 2 is a simple charge attack. Omni-Man flies forward, it's incredibly fast on startup, it can be used in the air as expected, and it's a decent combo ender. The main feature of this charge is that when you enhance it, it gets armor. This is Omni-Man's armored reversal, and the same can be said for the enhanced air charge. Back Forward 4 is another dash attack, and this one when grounded hits as a mid and once again is incredibly fast. I imagine the main version you're going to use is the air version as it keeps the speed, but now it strikes as a launching overhead. This is one of your many anti-zoning tools, and while it's unsafe on block, the reward is great. Saving the most interesting for last, the special move that gives you the most gameplay potential is Viltrumite Stance. This is down back 3 and it has different follow-ups that do different things. The one follow-up is your combo extender. This is a strike, and when it hits the opponent, you will go into a full combo that throws them into the air. The most obvious enders here involve air strings, but we can get to that later. Using it a second time in a combo will not launch, but it can create a situation where a cameo may extend further. The 2 follow-up is essentially a teleport. This is incredibly fast, goes behind the opponent and does massive damage on its own. This can be extended with cameos once more, but the damage on its own makes it a decent answer for enemy projectiles. The 4 follow-up to this stance is a combo launcher that once again goes a great distance. This can work as a projectile answer, similar to the move I just showed. However, the startup here is quite slow compared to it. It can still work on reaction, especially if you set it up, and this can work as a combo extender should you enhance the startup of the stance to make it activate faster. The final special off of this is your 3-ender. This is a full screen tracking overhead. It launches in the corner, although it's not as good for launches mid-screen. However, it is safe on block. Now, you may think this is incredibly broken, being a full-screen safe-on-block special. However, a successful up-block will make it full combo punishable. I recommend you learn how to do this, especially as there's going to be a lot of Omni-Man online probably using this move. Like all of the other specials, Viltrumite Stance can be used while airborne, and the properties of these various extenders do not change. They will still track the opponent, and they will still hit the same way, regardless of whether the opponent's on the floor, or you're in the air, or whatever the situation may be. There's still a few more things to talk about with the stance, the first being that pressing block and down during it will cancel the animation. Should you enhance the stance, it starts up a lot faster, making various follow-ups actually combo in situations that they normally wouldn't. Secondly, it's the situation you're in. Should you use the stance by itself, you are immune to enemy projectiles. If you enhance the stance, you are immune to projectiles and can absorb various strikes, mostly highs and mids. You will lose out to lows, and it's not going to beat everything in the game. However, in the right situation for the cost of a meter, you now have this almost parry-like attack that can grant you a full combo thanks to the 1 follow-up. The final thing to note about the specials is that forward and stance change or back and stance change will activate various dashes, either forward or back. You can't go any other way. However, this is great for movement, but more importantly, vital to your airborne combo game. I can expand on that a little bit later. However, just keep in mind that these air dashes do exist, but they are very different to somebody like Natara. Let's talk about normals and strings, because they're actually pretty important for this character. The first is 1-2-2, a simple 3-hit ender. However, more importantly, the 1-2 itself is actually +3 on block. There is a gap here, so it's not completely guaranteed. However, should this connect, you are in an advantageous situation. Back 1 is your first mid. Now, Omni-Man has more than one mid, which is powerful for his game plan, but the back 1 is fast, and it has 2 different follow-ups. Back 1-1, which is a launcher, however the second hit is high and can be crouched, and back 1-2, which is a mid, which exists mostly to stop someone from crouching and to keep you in a decent spot. 2-2-2 is a decent 3-hit string with a 0 on block ender. The final hit, however, can be both flawless blocked and crouched, so it is generally unsafe. The 2-2 can function most notably as a combo extender going into other specials. Now, Omni-Man does actually have an overhead low game here. The low starts up considerably faster than the overhead, keep in mind. However, it's nice to have these tools to keep the opponent unsure on what direction they should be blocking all the time. The first is your forward 3. This is the low, and this can lead to full combos thanks to it being special cancelable. The overhead is forward 2. Now this is slower than the low, as I've said before. However, it goes considerably further and is incredibly fast when it actually gets going. This is where the threat can start to exist, because when pairing this with various cameos, an overhead that goes this far is a nightmare. The final string to talk about is your final mid, forward 4. This goes incredibly far for a single hit button, and it has forward 4-1 as a follow-up. This is a launcher and can lead into 1-2 extensions incredibly easily. However, it's not just that. Forward 4-1 grab is a high damage ender that can just do good damage by itself. How often you'd go into this, I'm not quite sure, as forward 4-1 into a full combo does grant you higher damage. When it comes to air strings, this is where Omni-Man truly thrives, as every single one of his air strings is usable in some capacity. 1-2 grab is just a reliable, high-damage combo ender. However, it's not just this. The 1-2 by itself, after a launch, such as back 1-1, can extend combos impressively by itself, doing something like launch, jump in 1-2, landing, and then doing something else can lead into good damage. The other air string is 2-1-2-1. This will obviously hit 4 times, however it is the 2-1-2 you want to focus on more here. This can extend into various combos in the air, and mostly it comes down to using 2-1-2 into your forward dash, and this is where the dashes matter the most. Using them in air combos can give you massive extensions into really powerful meterless damage, even without cameos. The general rule of the air dash is not so different from Nitara, for example, where the first dash that you're going to use is essentially free in a combo. It's when you use the other dashes that, although you can do it, it will start to cost meter and it will start to scale the combo. So keeping an eye on how many dashes you actually want to use while keeping your meter is quite important for this character. Although the character is pretty much brand new, right, there's still some pretty strong gameplay elements for us to take away. This character is incredibly hard to zone. This character really wants to get in and start establishing a lot of filthy pressure or mix-ups. When you land a successful hit, most of the time you will confirm into Viltrumite stance 1 and get your combo extensions from that. Get comfortable with doing a launch into 2-1-2 dash into some kind of ender. A really simple combo for this character is by going in for a launcher to begin with, jumping in, 2-1-2 dash, 1-2 grab. It's really easy, you can pick it up quite fast, and it does good damage for what it is. But with the game plan of constantly trying to get in, bypassing projectiles, hitting hard, and whiff punishing with these fast advancing mids and confirmable strings, where do the cameos come into play? And to be honest, although the character is super new, there are already some cameos that appear quite immediately useful. The first, and don't you dare roll your eyes, is Kung Lao. Kung Lao is the best cameo in the game currently, I know. However, he fits fantastically well with Omni-Man, mostly thanks to low hat. Forward 4-1 into low hat is actually guaranteed on block and cannot be interrupted, but on hit leads into a full combo. It is a free check on a safe, advancing mid. But low hat combos aside, this character wants to get in. This character, by getting in, has a lot of fast overheads. The low hat, hitting low as it does, can create full screen, really annoying to block situations. It just naturally works so well for Omni-Man because the low hat covers the advance, gives you combo extensions. It's just a complete nightmare, even for day one, and it works incredibly well together. The second is Goro. Using Goro on the end of unsafe advances to make something safe or continue to combo on hit is something that you're going to really enjoy using with Omni-Man. Like I said, this character is built around getting in really quickly, and some of these options are quite unsafe. They become safe or plus thanks to Goro, and again, it's all about that raise the roof ambush assist. It's going to look quite simple on first glance, and it is. We've only just started looking at this character, but I'm already seeing Omni-Man thrive with Goro because of this. Another cameo I've seen a decent amount of already is Darius. Darius is actually the pairing you have in the combo trials, but for the most part it comes down to the extra damage you get from the Viltrumite stance 2 extender. I mentioned earlier in this video that this ender has incredible damage, but it normally doesn't combo. Using a well-timed Darius assist is going to allow this to fully combo and give you absolutely gigantic damage for a single anti-projectile move. If you want to have the execution and you want to get the reward for beating a single projectile, Darius could be the pairing for you with this character. However, these cameo suggestions are just that. They are mere suggestions for a character that has just gone hot off the press and is brand new in Mortal Kombat 1. This video is being made incredibly early after a character's released, so I can't go into as much detail as I would normally like to. However, this video existed to help you in the right direction, and I hope that I've been able to do that today. I appreciate you for checking this out. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for more Mortal Kombat to come, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy and have fun.